you tweet all the time, so we had a game we thought we might like to play with you. If you were going to tweet about one of these people that you've interviewed, what would your tweet be in 140 characters or less? Okay, I have 5 names. Do you like to play the game?
Oh.
Okay. Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton is the greatest politician I have ever known. You can dislike him intensely and spend 5 minutes with him and you've changed. He is dynamic. He's incredible. He listens great. There's nobody like Bill Clinton. Nobody.
Cool. O.J. Simpson.
I knew both sides of O.J. I knew O.J. as a player, interviewed him as a player, interviewed him as a broadcaster. I used to do Dolphin football. I did color for the Miami Dolphins, and O.J. would always kill us when he played with the Bills. And then I got to know him well, and then I broadcast his car chase. I was in Washington, and I was on the air doing a show, and then suddenly he was in the car driving down 405, and police following him in the slowest car chase of all time. And I was on the air for 2.5 hours, and I knew O.J. well. That total thing shocked me because knowing him, I never heard a bad word about him. And people who knew him well loved him. Another the enigma of O.J., I'm gone past the Twitter,
it's okay, yeah.
was that he was captain of every team he ever played on. And the one thing he never had was a temper. And people on O.J.'s team, from high school to college to the pros, came to him for advice. He was more than just the team captain. He was captain of every team he ever played on. He was the father advisor on the team. He was the go-to guy, never argued with an official. What happened that day? What happened? We'll never know. Yeah. He called in my show the night after the verdict.
Yeah, that is just to have been there, the voice of that car, that slow speed chase.
That was some night.
And that really changed CNN, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3, Vladimir Putin.
I met Vladimir Putin in New York at the UN, and I interviewed him for an hour. Then when I was about to leave the air in my last few weeks, he called in and said, I'd like to go on. And we put him on, and he was begging me not to leave. Larry, you can't leave. Right? And then a funny thing was, he invited me to Russia. I couldn't make it to go. But I was in a restaurant here in L.A., and they tracked me down to invite me. And the maitre d' came over and said, hey, listen, Larry, there's someone on the phone saying it's Vladimir Putin. I said, well, I get a lot of crazies.
Okay, well, we did talk about Bob Hope already, but Bob Hope is our number 4.
Bob Hope was a very interesting guy in that you could never get him as an interviewer to get into himself. So he was always off the top here. I mean, he was funny, and he had all his comical lines to say, and he said the right things about people and the war and entertainment. But I never felt, as much time as I interviewed him maybe a dozen times, I don't think I knew Bob Hope.
He was just such a comedian. He had lines for everything.
Yeah,
he was
so
that's prepared.
Right. Red Buttons had a great line at his memorial service. Red Buttons stood up and said, I couldn't be here in spirit, so I came in person. Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Elizabeth Taylor is our final.
She was a good buddy. She was a hell of a broad. She was something. I had
hell
fun.
of a broad.
Yeah, she was a broad. She was a great friend if she was your friend.
Yeah.
I interviewed her once, and she brought her diamonds, her jewelry collection. And she was wearing this ring, and I said, is that real? And she goes, Larry, is it real? Are you kidding? You know, she got mad. Well, I thought, you could have fake jewelry too. She did not like that.
Was that the ring I saw in your DVD collection that Richard Burton gave her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Who gave me that? Who gave you this?
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah.